Alright, Kiss Army, welcome to the KissFAQ podcast. Thank you for giving us your time today and letting us into your head. I hope we don't do any damage. This is a Kiss-related podcast by the board, for the board. We hope that you enjoy. Welcome to episode 91 of the KissFAQ podcast. I'm your host today, Julian Gill, admin on the FAQ message board. Joining me today is Tommy Thayer, Lonnie, St. Louis Kiss, and Michael. Hey, Andy, hiding behind Tommy's face. How dare you?
All right, we'll get going here.
Yeah, thanks for joining me, guys. I'm trying to think of any highlights of news in the last week, and there really isn't much. Three Sides is going to have a very cool episode on next week, so if you don't tune in regularly, shame on you. Check them out. It's going to be a real fun episode. Other news, I don't think anything's going on in Kiss world.
Yes, there is.
What's going on? What am I forgetting?
The brand new and last of the Kiss Crew's 6th email just came out 2 hours ago. Yay!
and you shot out of a cannon. I love it.
Yeah.
What did they say?
I'm actually pretty psyched about it because they're going to have another, you get photos taken, with the guitars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And actually this year they're going to have like, say like platinum albums or something. They're going to make like huge ones, I guess, and you can hold them and stuff. And there's, I don't know, the Paul Pizza thing and all, just the rest of the stuff. But the schedule looks good. It's like spread out, man. It's not like, oh my God, I'm going to miss this Kiss thing or I'm going to miss that Kiss thing. It's like, okay, Paul's Pizza thing is here. You got an hour wait, and then Gene's things is right behind it. It's the Kiss stuff is spread out good this year.
Is Paul doing a private, acoustic set again like he did last year?
He is, yeah.
Yeah, you got to buy that special $3,000 painted guitar, and
they look good though, didn't they?
And he's going to have his paintings on board too. So they're going to have at some point during the schedule. I didn't notice it, but they're going to have his paintings that he's done on the ship. Some of them will be available for purchase. God only knows how much that will cost. But
and I also heard there's a spot on the ship where you can take out a second mortgage on your home.
Yeah.
Sell your children into servitude.
Bring pictures of your home. There's going to be, a guy there that can do a free estimate for you, and they can take out a second mortgage on the boat.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, we had talked about this before. Quick there, Julian, is that some people got the disposable money and they can do it, or they suck it up and they get a loan and they do this special one time and that's it. If you want to do it, great. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. That's it. That's all there is to it.
Available.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can legitimately berate someone else for doing what they wish with their hard-earned money. It's theirs to do with, and whether you agree with it or not, so what? It's fun. Don't piss on someone else's parade who's going on this thing or going to any of the things just because individually you may think something's foolish or whatnot. We're not getting any younger, and life's short, so. You gotta
can't take with you, as they say.
Yeah, treat life like a radio and turn it up to 10.
Wow!
Yeah, I just went there.
No crazy nice talks, please.
Yeah.
Ever.
All right, so let's get on with today's topic. Then save me from myself. We're going to talk about Ace Frehley and
woo! Yeah, woo!
the original. The one and only Spaceman is currently out on the road, and I thought I was prepared, but obviously I'm not. What's his tour look like? He's coming to the end of it. I think he's got... Yeah,
and then he's got some dates scheduled in February.
Yeah, he's got Greensburg, PA tonight. He's playing Clifton Park, New York, and Tarrytown Music Hall at the weekend. So, it's the tail end of the shows. They played Binghamton, and I only mentioned that because obviously it was my hometown for 10 years, and that one has actually surfaced as a recording, so it's going to be one that I reference tonight when I'm talking about Ace's set. And Andy, when was the last time you saw him?
Don't tell anybody, but if you go to my Facebook page, you can see the Go Lives. And basically one night I recorded the whole show so the whole world can see. I think about twice.
So You went didn't you go Friday and stand out in the rain for a while? And do you think maybe you got yourself sick?
Yep. Actually, I went last Tuesday in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, and it's a funny story about this. Quick, is that when I went to Pittsfield, they had it actually in a theater, like a real theater, an old theater. And basically, when Ace came on, because I was they had one seat open when I bought it. I got lucky. It was right dead center in the microphone. I couldn't believe it. I was ecstatic, So, and so we get there, and Ace comes on, right? So, when you're up front like that, you don't look behind you. You don't even care, He comes on, he starts going, rip it out, rip it out, comes on. And here I am, going out of my tree, right? And after about a minute, I'm still going late, and next door, I turn to the left of me, I turn to the right, and they're all sitting down. I look behind me.
Oh, that's terrible.
I'm like, are you kidding me? I look over to a guard they had. It wasn't even like a serious security guy. It was just like a guy. I look at him, I'm like, what's the deal? Am I all right? He goes, you got to sit down. I'm like, are you kidding me? I said, I've been waiting this for months and months, and this is... The guy goes, you got to sit. So I sat down. So that's when I started to go live. I'm like, well, what else can I do? Sitting here going and got my, thumb up my butt. Just, nope, go live. So I'm going live. So I'm really up close. And Ace is looking at everybody going what is the deal here, And then finally, when Rock Soldier's about to start, Richie finally says, everybody get your asses up. And I'm like, thank you. I'm yelling, thank you, Richie. It's about time. Because then everybody starts standing up. So that was that deal. And then on that Thursday, we went to Beverly, Mass., which is in another theater, but everybody stood up and went crazy. And then Friday was a general mission up in Poughkeepsie, New York, if I can say it right. And that was general mission. Yeah, that was all day in the rain, staying there from noon until they opened the doors at 6 o'clock. And I'll tell you. But here's a quick little funny tidbit about it. And we got there at noon. It just started to sprinkle when we got there. I'm like, damn it. So my girlfriend's sitting in the car, and we're about 100 feet away from the place. And she goes, hey, doesn't that look like Richie Scarlet? And this is only her first time seeing him or second time seeing him. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's Richie's wife. So there it is. Richie and his wife are coming out of their place, and they walk around. And my buddy named Dan, he really likes Richie, so he wanted to get an autograph. So he bought one of Ace's, one of those electric, the zip, 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 lightning bolt straps. So he runs. I go, run, you better run. So Richie disappears. He goes up to the tour bus around the corner. So we go around the corner. There he is. This is my buddy, man. He's standing there talking to Richie's wife, and then Richie pulls him in. He starts pulling Richie's luggage and stuff out of the thing. Richie and his wife thought he was the runner. He thought he was the runner to bring the luggage to put it on to go to the hotel. So he probably tells him, he goes, no, I'm not your runner. And they look at him kind of like, what? But, excuse me. So just the three of us were there. So they were nice. And, he goes, hey, Richie, can you sign this? Richie signs it. Richie's got it in, and he wrote Ace Rules on it. And, they went off their merry way and stuff like that. So anyways, we got into the show. Of course, I want front row Ace, and then one off to the left. You got, microphone, move to the left, because that's where Ace kind of goes that way. He starts throwing things. And then he went to the Richie side. So, yeah. So I'll tell you right now, Ace is spot on. They come on right on time. We were even watching, they had 3 or 4 other bands we play on Friday, and they were adamant at the other bands. You have to this time, and if you don't get off, we're just going to shut everything off, and we're going to pull everything off on you, because Ace is going on in time. And I'm telling you, man, on time, all 3 nights in a row, spot on, excellent.
So we'll get into some of those details in a couple of minutes, but Lonnie, when's the last time you saw Ace?
He came to town about just right at a year ago, maybe 13 months ago. He came through St. Louis. He played at a little club called Pops on the east side. And it was really... he hadn't been here since about 2008 when he did that a little bit of touring before Anomaly came out. And it was really, really excellent. It was spot on, as Andy was saying. His band with Richie in it is fantastic.
Richie is the Paul Stanley of the Ace Frehley band. Yeah,
Richie really adds to the experience. He sang like Too Young to Die when they came to town, and and it really, really adds to it. The only complaint I have, if any, is the fact that they play is a little bit of the set list. And I know we're Kiss fans, and that if we weren't Kiss fans, we wouldn't sit here and pick a set list apart. But the only problem I have with it is the fact that there are too many Kiss songs in there, where I'd like to hear more 78 Ace stuff or more 80s Frehley's comic type stuff. But at the same time, I understand it. It's just like going to a Kiss show. I understand it, why they play certain songs. Because, yeah, it is a lot of diehards there at an Ace show at a club like me. But there are also people that are like, oh, it's Ace Frehley. He used to be in Kiss. And then he does break out Love Gun in Detroit Rock City. Why? Well, because the casual fans at least know that. They're not going to know Too Young to Die. And they're not going to know, they might not even know Rock Soldiers, because they might not even have any of his solo albums. But they are going to know those classic Kiss songs that he's going to play. And if he doesn't play those, they're going to walk out saying, well, I can't believe you didn't play any of those classic Kiss songs. It's going to be, for Christ's sake, he used to be Kiss's lead guitarist. So as much as I don't like it, I get it at the same time. So, and it's the same way when you go see a Kiss show too. You could say, well, why don't they play this one? Well, they have to play certain songs. So,
and we'll get into the set list in a few minutes as well.
It was great. I really enjoyed it.
Michael, have you seen Ace, and when was the last time?
So I have an interesting story to tell you. So I saw Ace at the show where he passed out basically after. It was in Wilkes-Barre. And I saw him. So what happened was my friend Chuck, who I'm going on a cruise with this year, we went on the cruise on Kiss Cruise 4. He had a beautiful cherry sunburst Les Paul, wanted Ace to autograph it. He'd never met Ace before. So he said, Michael, I'm going to come to the New Hope show, which was earlier this year. He's like, we'll go see Ace and, meet him, get him to sign it. I'm like, terrific. It's a great venue. So we're about halfway to New Hope, and we get a phone call from the venue saying, oh, we're just calling to let you know that the Ace Frehley show has been canceled for tonight. And she said it like in a happy voice. And I'm like, I had to pull over the car. I'm like, wait, could you repeat that? And she told me it was canceled. I'm like, get the hell out of here. We're almost there. And we tried to reach out to John Ostrowski, Ace's manager. And, obviously Chuck was pissed because he flew there, right? He paid for a hotel. He paid for the meet and greet. And he's got a friggin' guitar. What's he going to do with it? So eventually we connected with John, and he said someone in the band was sick. They didn't say it was Ace, but obviously it was Ace. So he said, hold on to the guitar, give it to Michael. If Michael can come to the Wilkes-Barre show, I'll have Ace sign it there. So Chuck had to fly back home. I had to hold on to this guitar. And, my fiance is like, what the hell are you doing with this guitar? I had to explain the situation. Bought a ticket for Wilkes-Barre. I had to schlep out there because I'm in Philadelphia. So that's about like an hour or two away. And I had to stay at a hotel, so I had to pay for a hotel now. And I went to the Wilkes-Barre show, totally, hoping to meet Ace, put on a great show. And then after the show, you couldn't tell on stage that there was anything wrong with him. But he didn't do an encore, and they did cut out a couple songs because he was running late. And, after the show, we line up to go backstage to the meet and greet. And they line us up on the stage, and then they would line us, and then they bring us down off the stage, and people start sitting down in the front, like in the seats in the theater, and I'm like, what's going on here? And I see John up front, and he's apologizing to people. I'm like, oh no, not again. And he explains that Ace had to be rushed to the hospital, and he explained that something happened and whatever. And I was saying to him, I said, John, I totally get it, but what am I going to tell Chuck? This is the second time in a row now his guitars have been signed. What do we do? I can't go to Poughkeepsie or wherever he was going to be next. I forget where it was going to be. It was somewhere, nowhere nearby.
It was Poughkeepsie because I actually the bunch of us drove up that next day all the way there. The 3 hours. And
right.
Knew. The venue didn't even know, and we're hanging around. We're like, there's nobody here. And I'm like, something's wrong. Something's really wrong. And then finally, some guy comes, hey, Ace canceled tonight, And I'm like, what?
Yeah, so I'm glad I didn't pay for Poughkeepsie to a hotel and all that. But anyway, what wound up happening with my friend was I shipped him the guitar back. I said, Chuck, you're just going to have to figure this out because I don't know when he's coming back to the area. And basically, Chuck lives out in Indianapolis, and they scheduled a show in Chicago. he went to go see Ace in late August, got the guitar signed. It was great. All's well that ends well. But the times I've seen Ace, he does come on late. The meet and greets run long. They have way too many people backstage for the meet and greets. But, I mean, he's obviously trying to please a lot of people, and he puts on a great show. So I have to say, even though, you have to deal with some of the Ace stuff to see Ace, he puts on an awesome show. He sounds great. The guitar is great. Scott Coogan on drums, awesome. Singing like Love Gun and stuff like that. Richie, terrific. So I wish he would come closer to Philly. He came to Lancaster early this week. Andy, were you at that show?
No.
Yeah, I couldn't go. It was just too far away. These weeknight concerts are a little too tough to pull off. But yeah, that's the last time I saw Ace. So I guess it's probably July or something like that.
Okay, I hate you all because the last time I saw him was 2008. Yeah, and obviously he's had Space Invader out since then, and Origins Now Volume 1 out since then. Not that he's performing a tremendous amount off either of those or any of those albums. But, I mean, my next opportunity will be Jackson Rancheria Casino and Hotel, and that's just... I don't know. I don't think I could take that commute.
Well, the thing is, too, Ace used to live in Connecticut. So, back in the day, I've lost count how many times I used to go to a club and see Ace. Ace would just, pop up. And back then you didn't have the internet either, so it was all word of mouth. So you find out, you go to one Ace show, and they'd be like, hey, Ace is playing here tomorrow. And you'd be like, what is that place? And then you start going to, you can't do anything on computer, so basically you had to MapQuest it and cross your fingers you got there in time for the show. But Ace used to live in Connecticut, so he used to play like crazy around here. I've lost count sometimes, and you'd show up at the door and pay like $10, But I got to admit it, though, back in the day, like you said, when you had the first Frehley's Comet on, you'd only play Frehley's Comet plus his original solo album. And then as you move on, you get more songs, so all the songs got caught out, Mm-hmm. But the thing back then, those days, was it's true, Ace would come on really late and half in the bag or way in the bag, There were times we used to wait. He used to show up 2 hours, 2.5, almost 3 hours late.
Wow.
He'd wait all day. He'd come on at midnight, and he'd come out with a laugh. He'd come out and chuckle, get that little laugh, and say a joke, and then he'd turn around and he'd go, you ready? And plug in, and then all of a sudden but still, even back then, when he's still spot on. Much as he's hammered, seriously, I used to see, I'm telling you, from New England, a lot of people that saw those people shows in Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, the whole area, they'll tell you, he'd come on really late, man, but he would still be spot on. It didn't matter. He'd still be, no matter how much he tanked. I mean, I remember my sim watching him. I always wanted to hear Lost in Limbo live at the time. I never heard Lost. And then one night, because back then he would kind of switch songs. One night, man, I saw him do Lost in Limbo in the tanked, doing Lost in Limbo, note for note, walking around, stumbling, hitting the amps. The amps start to shake. The rest of the band turn around and look at him and go, oh, my God, and then go over there and somebody hold him up, not hold him up, but hold the amps up to make sure they wouldn't fall over. And he just chuckling, smiling, keep playing away like nothing happened. Unbelievable,
It doesn't miss a note.
But it doesn't miss a note, And you heard those days back in the days. They used to do that back with Kiss, He'd go drunk and then show up at the last minute, plug in and go, you ready? You know what I mean? And go,
And that's the difference between the Spaceman and his replacement. The unpredictability, that Tommy's precise and accurate and on time, and Ace, you never know what the hell you're going to get, but he pulls it off. So
that's the mystique. That's the whole thing about it.
That's the magic of the original Spaceman for me. I'm just going to go through this set list quickly from Binghamton, as that's the only one I've had a chance to listen to. I got to say, the band is really good. And if I could get one member of that band on this show, it would be Richie fucking Scarlet, who
I'm working on that.
I would just love to have him on and to talk about his music, not just, working with Ace, just to go through his whole career and, start out before Ace, get into the originals Frehley's Comet, which was just a fucking monster of a band back in '85. And when we listened to all those recordings of how that band sounded and then what it turned into with, Todd, who's a completely different creature, it'd be great to talk to him, especially with working with Ace until 95 and now being back with him again. So he's seen all of Ace. He's had his own career. I think Wise Guy from New York's a fantastic album. So that's something. Hopefully,
Richie's wife. I've been lobbying to get that done.
I wish I'd noticed. Yeah, I wish I had noticed, because when we were talking to him, I would have mentioned it.
Yeah, it's something that's got to go through the channels. He's if he's going to do it, he's got to be comfortable. Ace probably has to be comfortable as well, that he's not going anywhere. But let's go through this set list, and Fractured Mirror, the intro, Rip It Out, Toys, Emerald, the Thin Lizzy cover, Parasite, Love Gun, Snowblind, Sister, Rocket Ride, Bring It On Home, Rock Soldiers, Strange Ways, I guess that one you got to have there now. New York Groove, Too Young to Die, Welcome Back to the Set List, and that's the biggest for me. The benefit of having Richie back in there is that he can help out a bit with the vocals and give Ace a breather. Shock Me, Cold Gin, and Encores, Detroit Rock City, and Deuce. So. Let's start off. I mean, you guys who've seen him this year, he's supposed to be supporting the Origins album, right?
Yeah.
What material have you actually heard him perform from there? I mean, now he's basically down to Emerald and Bring It On Home.
Well, the thing is that I think he's still doing. Oh my God, Space Invader. It's still got the background Space Invader. I think it's still part of the Space Invader. I don't think the Origins is technically in the game. I know it sounds weird, but it's almost like that's Ace, man. It's always something kind of, but. I think it's still promoting, Space Invader.
Nah,
fair enough. I mean, they do win the Emerald, but.
So what songs have you heard him do live off the new album, this year, Michael, that you recall?
Just Emerald. And Andy's right. When I saw him, well, in Wilkes-Barre, he did have a different banner that just said Ace Frehley. But when I saw him... I think at other shows, it still had the Space Invader thing, because I guess he figured, well, hell, I paid for it. May as well get my money's worth. But, it was just Emerald, really, is all he did. I didn't even hear that other track that you were talking about. And then, of course, I mean, you could technically say Parasite and what else was on the album? Cold Gin and some other Kiss classics. And for me, I want to point out, as a fan who never saw Ace live with during the reunion era, I was actually really excited to see him play like the solo from Love Gun and certain songs that I never got to see him play live. So I totally agree with you guys that it would be nice for more solo cuts, but it's actually kind of nice for me as a Kiss fan who kind of just missed out on the reunion to see Ace kind of play those famous licks that I never got to see before.
Yeah, I watch the crowd as they're doing the songs too, or you can hear the crowd at the difference. Mm-hmm. And it's true, though. Every time he played a Kiss song, the crowd lifted a little bit more. Rock Soldiers, though, still was pretty good response. Like I said, though, Richie really helps out. Richie is the Paul Stanley of the band. And Rock Soldiers still pretty good. Of course, New York Groove, that's all stuff.
Light guitar.
Yeah. But every time he played a Kiss song on every show I've ever been to, and like I said, I just saw the last three, and then I saw him last September, because it kind of came around last September a little bit doing the thing. Every time he does play a Kiss song, you can see the raise of the you hear the crowd lift up a little bit more, But the diehards, the ones who really, they want it. I mean, I don't know how many times all week at those three shows people want to hear like Hard Times. Of course, I want to hear Hard Times. There are people lobbying for certain songs. I mean, Hard Times, please, Hard Times, yes, So
I've heard Hard Times. Yay! Got to go back to that 2008 show.
Yeah, I saw him do that. No way. Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's good.
My problem with his sets is that they're just too Kiss heavy for me, because I know the Ace material. But from the same problem that Kiss has pleasing its fans, Ace has the same problem pleasing its fans, in that, like you said at the beginning of the show, that people are going to Ace to hear him play Kiss songs pretty much. They don't want to hear Lost in Limbo for the most part. There may be one guy in the back who's like, oh, yeah, you play Lost in Limbo, man. Yeah. Or, Ace, 5-card stud,
Right.
Oh, dude, I would flip out if he played Five Card Stud.
Oh,
He did a medley in
he
St.
did that
Louis
in the
and Five
medley.
Card Stud was a part of
in
it. Yeah, it was
2008.
awesome.
So, I'm not going to complain too much, but, at this most recent show, I mean, even the new album, if you want to say it was Space Invader, going by his backdrop, he's only got toys from it left. Give Me a Feeling and Space Invader are gone.
Toys is crappy. I'm sorry.
Toys here.
Toys is up there with Dolls for me, so they're just two songs I don't like.
Are we going to go pick through the set list, like which one should be tossed and which one should have stayed?
You better believe it.
All right, because I'm ready. I'm waiting.
Andy, why don't you get stuck in then?
Why don't you just start it?
What's your chuck 'em list for Ace's current set?
So I just said toys. See you later. Goodbye. Please, I'd rather hear the Space Invader.
Yeah, definitely. Agree with you.
I'd rather hear Space Invader. And I'm sorry, I know we used to do it. Emerald, I don't want to hear Emerald either. Nope. Put something else in it. Speeding Back to My Baby, Insane, Trouble Walking, Five Card Stud, Lost in Limbo. I'll take anything. Hard Times.
Dark Light.
I'll take Dark Light. Of course I would. Save Your Love. Torpedo Girl. Talk to Me even bring Talk to Me. Come on, man. You people would flip out, I'd also get rid of the Led Zeppelin song. I'm going, seriously? No offense. They did fine on it, but no, I don't want to hear a Led Zeppelin song. God, I hear enough Led Zeppelin around the world. I don't want to hear Led Zeppelin.
I'm with you. Do your own stuff. I know you just did a covers album, but do your own stuff. And that goes for anybody I go see. Anybody I go see and they start into a cover song, I'm like, that doesn't interest me. I'm here to see you, not to hear you do someone else's songs. It's
like Kiss when they did when Kiss did back in the day when they did the Who's, the Who's song on the floor. I was like, what the? You got to be kidding me! You have 20 albums, 25 years out, and you could pick it. I mean,
Andy, I like you on the show. You are shot out of a cannon. You're passionate, and you got something that I like to call moxie.
Yeah, but we really got to do something about his shyness.
Okay, the whole thing is everybody who knows me, people have this thing with me. They either love me or they hate me. I don't have it in between because I tell it how it is. It gets it off my chest. I don't want to hold back, man. Because it's just stupid. People hold things in it, and then they turn old and they get, you know what I mean? Let it out. I mean, I love Ace, but I don't want to hear the Led Zeppelin song. I don't want to hear Emerald. And no offense, I know Michael said he never got a chance to hear Love Gun and Ace do Love Gun.
No thanks.
Well, now I've heard it, so he can cut it out.
well, you know what I'm saying, though. I mean, like Michael didn't get a chance to see him as many times, so I understand it. I understand when, like I said, the crowd lifts. But somebody like me who goes, one of those knuckleheads that keep going and, here's my money, here I keep going, I keep traveling, keep going. No! Now I understand why they play Parasite and Cold Gin. He wrote them.
Sure. I don't have a problem with those Kiss songs. But it's like Love Gun, Detroit Rock City, songs like Deuce, even Deuce. Songs like that.
Well,
I know he says Deuce is his favorite Kiss song, his first Kiss song he ever heard, it's the song he auditioned on. I get it, but
and that soul is unbelievable.
And it is, but I still put that in the same category that I would put Love Gun and Detroit Rock City, just because maybe not. But I mean, it's a Kiss. I want to hear an Ace song.
Oh, I do too.
You know what I mean? I want to hear an Ace, and I don't mind Deuce. Don't get me wrong, Deuce is a great song. It's one of my favorite Kiss songs. But I want to hear, if I'm going to Ace Frehley, I want to hear Ace Frehley Kiss songs or Ace Frehley solo songs.
Yeah.
There's a song from Space Invader that I told Ace when I first met him that I love, and I really wish he would do it live, is Past the Milky Way from Space Invader. It's an awesome song. I mean, it's just got a great groove, and it doesn't feel like contrived. I understand it's like a space song, but it's actually a good space song. It's not like a piece of shit. And he said that he wrote it about Rachel, and even more reason for him to perform it live. I don't know why he hasn't, and that's why I wonder, why the heck are you playing Toys? Talk about a boring song. I mean, pick something that's musically interesting, where it changes as the song progresses. Something really rich, and that's why I think Past the Milky Way would be a great song to kind of toss in there. It's a new cut, it's a deeper cut, and cut out a Kiss song to put it in there.
Yeah.
See, here's the one little problem with Past the Milky Way. It's actually a cover.
It is?
It's based on a song that a friend of his wrote called "High in a Mountaintop." So
how much did he contribute to it then?
I think the lyrics are pretty much rewritten for Ace, but musically, and don't get me wrong, it's a cool song, but just kind of linking it with the covers album and Space Invader, it's F-15 Eagles. Actually, F-16s. Blue Angels practicing for this weekend, so if you hear them in the background rattling the windows, excuse me.
I thought you were under attack. I wasn't sure what that was.
Hey, we're flying like Ace, man. We're flying like Ace back today. We're flying.
So yeah, that would be a really good one to add into the set because it is a spacey theme. Again, what else would you like him to do or get rid of? I mean, you saw him. What didn't resonate? And where are the real gaps, Michael?
I mean, as a fan of his 80s stuff and his solo material, I'd love to, I love the song Do Ya? I know it's a cover, don't get me wrong, but it's such a catchy damn song. And again, I'm going back to another cover, but Fox on the Run I thought was awesome from Anomaly. I thought it was perfect for his voice. So if you're going to throw in some cover songs, at least do songs like that were like catchy as hell. So, I mean, for me, I would love to hear that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't think he's going to do a 1+1 or something like that.
Now, that'd be kind of cool. Anything.
That'd be different.
Like Lonnie said, anything totally off the wall. It doesn't matter. Totally everything different, Yeah. I take any song. It doesn't matter. It kind of basically like Kiss, I'm sorry. Everybody says the same thing. Oh, how many times? Throw lick. I'm sick of, sorry. Shoot me, but I'm sick of Lick It Up. I'm sick of Love Gun. I'm sick of Shout Out Loud. But I understand why they play him into a bigger crowd,
Right.
But here he is, and he's got Richie back in the band. That's just screaming for stuff off Trouble Walking. I mean, Remember Me. That's on Trouble Walking, and that was around in 84, 85. It's kind of given. Breakout. Richie used to sing.
Oh, I love Breakout, man. Just like I said, it's insane.
It's a way better song when Richie sings it. I mean, even if you just stick with, Too Young to Die, which is a Richie song. I mean, I know Ace has his name on it, but that's Richie through and through. Getting Richie to do that, getting Richie to do Breakout, that's put those like a third of the way through the set, just to break things up a bit, give Ace a breather. And
they did Breakout when they were here in St. Louis last year. They did. Richie sang Breakout and Too Young to Die. It was
man,
it's phenomenal.
I mean, for me, that would just be so cool to see, or to see Richie's take on some of the stuff from the Todd albums. To toughen it up because he's got the fucking piss and vinegar vocals. That could maybe give that material some of the edge that we often complain was lacking. I mean, obviously, you're not going to make Fallen Angel into a tough-ass song, but maybe Richie could do something with the other stuff.
I might be one of the minorities on this. As much as I love Ace's heavy stuff and everything, I love the Second Sighting. I love it. I don't know what it is about it. I love that CD or album, whatever you want to call it. I love it. I thought Todd was awesome. People pick on it and say, "Oh, it kind of is more like a Todd solo album." But remember, man, people got to remember, Ace was a guitarist, not a lead singer.
Right.
So to me, to this day, I mean, here I'm going to double-edged sword here. Ace's first solo album, man, is off the hook. All right, from top to bottom, there is no junk. To me, there's no junk in that whole CD. There's no whatever. But now. Ace doesn't need to sing every song on a full album. I wish he'd get more guests. He is a guitarist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wish he'd do something.
And watching him while he plays live, when he's not singing, is awesome. Where he walks, he does that strolling thing, the feet walk backwards. He does like a little stumble here and there. I mean, that's the Ace we love and fell in love with. But having Ace standing in front of a microphone all night long, you don't get that full Ace experience. And so that's why that's why I don't understand why Richie doesn't sing Breakout. He only's got one song on this tour, but Coogan gets two. I don't get it.
Hey, maybe Richie says, I'm only doing one.
It's too bad.
Yeah, that's part of it, too.
That would be an interesting thing to find out.
I'd like Ace to do something like Slash did a few years ago, where Slash did an album where he had a different vocalist on every song.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Ace needed to have a different vocalist on every song, but maybe Ace sang half the songs, and the other half of the songs he had guest vocals. Maybe Paul did a song. Maybe he got Gene to do a song. Maybe he gets a few other guest singers to do some songs like that. Just not necessarily even Kiss related, just other great vocalists to come in and do some different songs, just to give things a different vibe. And like Andy said, you'd get more of an Ace experience where he's he is the guitarist and not a vocalist, because he's a fine vocalist, but he's not a lead vocalist on every song type of guy.
Yeah,
Correct.
It can be hard on the ears after a while if you go to like 12 straight songs of Ace's voice, because he's kind of got that harsh sound, and it can be a little hard to take, but and also it's hard because if you can tell when you see Paul live that Paul pays attention, like keeping his mouth near the microphone as much as possible, but Ace doesn't really seem to care. He'll just like have his head down because he's focused on playing, and then he'll like, oh, that's right, I'm singing, like get back to the lyrics. So there are many times like it'll cut in and out because he's just not really thinking of singing first. He's thinking of playing the guitar first.
And Ace has admitted that he doesn't like practice singing. He just comes on and does it when they, okay, time for me, plug in, let's play, and I sing. Okay, sing. Yeah, walk away, like Michael said. Sometimes he'd miss a note, or, he'd miss a lyric and stuff, but everybody else is in the background singing it along, So I agree, he doesn't have to sing all the songs. Get special guests here and there.
I think that'd make for a fun album.
It'd be a fantastic album,
and not necessarily Kiss related. He could do outside vocalists. Like Slash had Ozzy on a song, and he had, Kid Rock on a song. And I'm not saying that Ace needs to go get Kid Rock or Ozzy, but like different established artists to sing on his songs, and you could just get the full Ace Frehley on lead guitar experience on those tracks. I think that'd be fun.
I think he should keep it in house. I think he should get Paul again. He should get Gene.
I'm not saying he shouldn't. That'd be great.
He should get Peter. I mean, come on.
They should just do a Kiss album.
Maybe just do a Kiss album.
Pretty much. I mean, come on, get Todd back. I mean, I'm sure Ace can write a ballad. Get Todd in to sing it. And. Richie, come on. I mean, that's like 6 vocalists right there. I mean, you're pretty much halfway to, a complete album at that point. I don't want to ever see Ozzy guest on anything ever again. And there really aren't that many other classic rock artists that I really think pair up well with Ace. Maybe Axl's available. He'll sing for anyone these days, We'll sing for peanuts.
Vocalist for hire.
But no, being serious about Axl,
those are great. If you listen to some of those bootlegs, they're fantastic.
Yeah, he can sing stuff. So
he pulled it off.
Just there are so many opportunities for him to make like that Kiss album with Ace on guitar, and then no one's going to give a shit who's playing bass or who's playing drums. I mean, he can have Eric Singer sing a song as well, for that matter. So. We're getting a little bit off topic.
Wouldn't that be controversial?
I don't think it would be. They've toured together.
It's controversial, right, Lonnie?
Yeah. When's the last time that ever happened?
Nothing sacrosanct.
It'd just be fun to hear the people go crazy about it, though. It'd be entertaining.
I mean, you just have a crowd full of Kiss fans watch the heads explode.
Right.
KissFAQ started that rumor. Eric Singer's going to sing with Ace Frehley's next album.
Singer's going to sing
Yeah, Ace isn't coming back to Kiss. Eric Singer's joining Ace.
Somebody's going to pick it up and run with it, and it's going to be all over.
So let's talk about the show itself. I mean, Michael, what's your take on his stage presence, his performance, the band, and all that sort of side of things, other than the music? On time, is it entertaining? What's missing? What's good? What stands out?
Well, I'm glad to hear from Andy that he's on time again and that's gotten taken care of. As for like the theatricality of it and the way things go, he does do the smoking guitar thing during his guitar solo, which again for me, being someone who never saw Ace, I've seen him now like 3 or 4 times, but the first time I saw him do that, I was like, oh wow, it's awesome. And then I do love it when his bass player,
Chris Wise.
Yes, does Strange Ways. That's really cool. I like that. And it gives Ace the time to kind of take a break. I like Richie singing. I like Scott singing. It just keeps it interesting because they realize that, hey, we got to give Ace a break here. And let's showcase the whole band and make it feel like it's a band and not just a bunch of, ringers backing up the star. And I think they recognize that, not only does Ace need a break, but I think people need a break and they need some variety in the show. And that's what I like about Kiss. That's what I like about the Eagles. That's what I like about any band, because the Beatles too, where you have, multiple people contributing because it keeps it interesting and makes for an enjoyable night of music. So.
Andy must spit out his drink.
Yeah, I'm just expecting a kaboom and you're just going to disappear from the screen.
I don't know how loud it's coming through on the mic, so it's pretty freaking loud.
Yeah, but it's a great show. I mean, if you've never seen Ace live, or even if you have, it's fun. I think you can't leave there not having a good time. Even if he has to cut a song or two out for whatever reason, it's still a solid rock concert. And, you're going to leave singing songs that are stuck in your head.
Yep, Andy.
And you're looking at a guitar hero, legend. Not just hero, a legend. Probably one of the top, if not in the top 5 guitar legends you'll ever see in your whole life in a club or a theater, right in your face. You know what I mean? And singing, not only doing his own stuff, but doing Kiss stuff that he wrote and some of the most famous guitar licks. In Strange Ways, all right? That's one of the funkiest guitar solo. It's almost kind of grungiest before it was even grungy. You know what I mean? And Michael, like you said, the guitar solo, man, look at it. He's extended on it now. He does the smoking thing. And actually, the smoking guitar is longer now than it used to be. He actually makes sure that he goes from the middle to all the way to the right and smokes it for a long time and holds it there for everybody to see, walks all the way across and does the same thing for everybody, then walks right across the middle, right across the front row to make sure everybody can see, slows down, stops, everybody takes pictures, videos.
Everybody gets their pictures on their phones or whatever, yeah.
Dude, so he makes it extra long, and then at the end he's like, wow, man, that thing was smoking. You know what I mean? And they have the band's having fun. You can see it. They're laughing at each other. They kind of make funs and jokes with each other. They kind of laugh at each other. You can see it.
And Richie, and I was going to say, Richie, he does to sing Richie's praises. He interacts with the crowd the whole time. Like, if you're up front, he's giving out guitar picks to kids. He's slapping people's hands. Like, he is just as involved as Ace is. And he's just a great, ambassador for the band. I mean, it's not just the Ace show. I feel like everyone's personalities comes through.
Oh, without a doubt. I see Richie, he goes over, like you said, Michael, man, he's not just throwing the picks out and wherever. He's actually going up and handing them to people. He actually picks them, pointing them out. He goes, I'm giving this to you, because he can tell, who's really into the show. And he goes and he picks them out. And goes, here you go. So I love it. I don't want him to stop. I'm glad he's healthy. I'm glad he's sober and healthy. Let's put it that way. I'm serious. They say him and Keith Richards are the two, that are still alive, and I'm very glad that he's alive. That's my biggest point. I'm glad to see him healthy and alive and be playing on his own terms, than in a way being in with Kiss and not being on terms and after touring a lot and probably getting stressed out again and freaking out, and then who knows what could happen, because let's face it. Once you're an alcoholic for life. You're a recovered alcoholic, but you're always an alcoholic away. You know, one drink away. Look at, it's a legal drug. You know what I mean? One sip away, man, he's going to go back into the dark side.
And that's all it takes.
You have another sip.
You know what I mean, though? It's serious, though. If everybody knows somebody that's, some kind of, alcoholic or drugs or something. But alcohol is so easy to get. Everything. It's a legal drug, basically. You go in your cabin and start drinking NyQuil if you really wanted that bad to that point. So, I'm glad. He even celebrates it now. He says, September 10th was my 10-year being sober. He tells the crowd, drink all you want, just be safe, about it, But he goes, my party's days are done. I'm glad, good, because I want to see the guy alive and healthy. Because you know what? Maybe a year or two now from now, I want to see him again play if he's going to play out again. I don't want to see him in a box and hear about him, tomorrow that he's, drank too much or something and then he's gone. Ridiculous,
And there's the whole thing that I guess rotates around this topic and where we're going to move into next is that Ace really, it's amazing that he's still alive. And I guess when he does show up in your town, you should just be happy that he's able to show up in your town. And pretty much now that he's got his life, it seems a little bit more under control. There are always going to be the things associated with Ace that are just Ace-isms, whether it's like attention to details, some of the organizational and planning, perhaps.
Time management.
But at least he's getting
bad managers.
Yeah. Who knows? There's a whole lot of baggage that, kind of goes with Ace. But he's alive and lucid. And now it's great to hear him in interviews because he can actually remember a little bit more. And he expresses himself a hell of a lot better than he did. He doesn't mumble as much when you talk to him. But let's talk about 2.0 and Kiss and Ace's return. People seem to be hopping on a rumor that he may go back into Kiss. I think they're projecting hopefulness from their own perspective without necessarily taking into account that Ace is on his own. He's healthy. He's still sober. He's fighting that battle every minute of every day and still winning, 10 years on. It doesn't matter if he's had any slips along the way because the road to recovery is, about that last day, that last minute. So it has nothing to do with if he's fallen off the wagon. He's toured with Richie and, come on, he and Richie have some history. Would going back into Kiss make any sense for Ace other than possibly financial? Would it be worth the risk to his health, physical and mental? Michael?
Well, I love Tommy and Eric, so I'd feel bad for them if this were to be some kind of like replacement situation. I'd rather it be that Kiss does some sort of like something like similar to MTV Unplugged, where they're going to have some sort of celebratory events in major cities around the country to celebrate whatever the heck they're celebrating. And, that they have special guests come out. And now we're going to bring out Ace for a song or two. And now we're going to bring out Bruce. And now we're going to bring out whoever. I'd rather it be like that, where it's inclusive versus okay, now you're going to be replaced by this person. And also, I don't know if it'd be good for Ace, mentally or any of that, because Kiss tours a lot. So I don't know that he could necessarily handle a full tour because the moment he came back for the reunion, history repeated itself. So I don't know that it's worth the risk because he's in a good place. They're in a good place. So why screw it up? I'd rather them do just one-off events if they're going to bring him back into the fold in any capacity.
Yeah, right now he's touring like Kiss, planned on touring in the 70s. One of the first things that when Glickman Marx came into the picture, they analyzed the band's touring and said, hey, you got to go on micro tours. Don't go out there for a long period of time. So on this latest leg, he's been out, since September the 23rd through October the 9th. Before that, he was out August the 18th through, September the 2nd. So little 2 weeks runs and a break. And I mean, even in the spring, he went out in late February and, through to, mid-April. So maybe that was a little bit too much because obviously he got dehydrated towards the end there, and also probably got sick and was fighting a bug. So he's kind of figured out what his timing is in terms of being out on the road, that he can handle a couple of weeks and then he needs a break. Whether it's because he's in the studio working on Origins Volume 2 or other stuff, I don't know. I haven't really been following him that closely. Andy, what's your take on, a return to Kiss or staying healthy on his own? I mean, because, would he get the financial benefit of being back in Kiss #1, or would it just be back to the same old story? Gene and Paul rightfully own the purse strings, and he's in control of his career when he's solo.
All right, you ready for this?
It's your opinion. Go for it.
Wait a minute. Somebody just wants to say hi.
Hi.
That's my mother, man. She's the one who. She's the Kiss mom that got, when I was a pee-wee, man, it said, "This is the band," So.
I started all this.
She kind of started.
It's all your fault.
It's all my fault. I take credit for it. I take credit for it.
Say hi to Mike because he's going to be on the Kiss cruise.
Hi, Mike. See you on the cruise. I'm Kiss Mom.
All right.
I'll look out for you.
Nice to meet you.
You better.
Anyways, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. She just wanted to say hi. What do I think? Wow. Here we go. This could get really ugly. No. Anyway. Like you were saying, Ace is really in a good place right now.
I need a drink.
And Kiss is doing their own thing. I don't want Kiss to end. Okay? I'm not ready for them to end. And I'm telling you, if and when Ace comes back, it will be the end. It's not because Ace is coming back. I just know it's the end because I think they will finally say, okay, we're going to end this. And they're going to say, oh, the right way. Yes, the right way. Okay, people? Get used to it. The right way. And if they are going to do that the right way, Peter needs to come back, and they got to do it the right way. And they don't have to travel. They don't have to have some huge tour. They can do what they did in Vegas. They could put it in Vegas now that I'm thinking about it, but really, if they're going to really end this at some point, which I said I don't want it right now, so I'm hoping Kiss, as they are, if you want to say the new Kiss with Tommy and Eric, to keep going on for a couple more years because, I don't think Ace, like you said, I don't think Ace could handle a full-out tour. Even Peter couldn't handle a full-out tour. But if they're really going to end it at some point, end it the right way, go to Madison Square Garden, you book 2 or 3 nights, and you keep adding on nights if people keep buying. And that's where you end it. So that means Peter and Ace don't have to travel that far. The stage is set up. You can have people watch over to, make sure everything goes right, and they want to do the meet and greet stuff, and because how Gene and Paul, they're very, business oriented. They're probably going to want to do meet and greets, and that's a lot of work to do. So if you keep everything in one spot, a huge stage and a huge this and a huge that, keep it in one spot, and if you want to go see Kiss end it with the original 4, you're going to have to go to Madison Square Garden, New York. You're going to have to suck it up and pay and fly in and go. So if they take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or if it only lasts 4 or 5 days, we'll find out, I guess. But I really can't see Ace jumping back in right away. It's not fair to Gene and Paul. They've already been through it with him a couple times. And Ace is on a good path. Let's keep him on the straight, narrow path. Let's, like I said, play his couple of dates here and there. And it's no offense to Eric and Tommy, man. They, like you and I, man, if they asked, Lonnie, Michael, Julian, if they asked you to play in Kiss, would you have done it? Would you have said yes?
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
No-brainer, of course. So I don't understand why these people complaining about, all these replacements and they're doing this. They asked me, of course I do it. I mean, not only because I'm a fan, I'm going to make millions and millions of dollars. I can retire and set my family up for life. There's no problem with that. And Tommy has been in the Kiss background for years. So Tommy could still do, there could be extra, Kissologies that everybody's still haunting and waiting for, or videos. And so Tommy could still be in the Kiss thing, and Eric could go and maybe go back do stuff with Alice Cooper again, or whatever he likes to do, And like Michael said, you could pull back like Bruce Kulick and have everybody in. I never even thought that you could do like an MTV thing again. That would be kind of interesting, but I can't see it. I don't think they'll do it. I think once they turn around and finally say, this is the end, because I can't see Gene and Paul walking off the stage, like say this Freedom of Rock tour. I can't see them just saying tomorrow, saying we're not going to, I mean, they got a couple more shows, but I can't see them just saying we're leaving, or we're done. No. Their egos, no offense, but their egos are this big. No. They are not going to leave like that. No way. They need something big, and they're always big. Kiss has always been big, go big, or go home. And when they go home, they are going to make it big. It might not be tomorrow, might not be next week, it might not be next month, it might not even be next year. I'm hoping they go 45, almost 50 years before they end it. But I want them not only to bring Peter back, Ace back, but they got to bring Peter back. And maybe Tommy and Eric can be on the side, dressed up too, and they come out and do some songs too, for Sonic Boom or Monster. I don't know. And bring Bruce out. Who knows? But they should keep everything in kind of like in a. I know people are gonna play. They should do stuff in Detroit, or they should do and then do a couple of shows in Detroit or California and stuff. No. They gotta keep it in New York City. Started in New York, ended in New York. Sorry, that's the way it goes.
It'll definitely get New York, that's for sure.
You know, I guess when it comes to Peter, there is hologram technology, so that's coming along. Because Peter just seems to be left out of it completely. You know, I could totally see them bringing Ace back, but keeping Eric, you know, and kind of disrespecting Peter in that. Or, you know, because we're just not privy to the kind of inside conversations that led to the fiasco in 2003 or 2001 with Peter. I mean, you know, it's alleged that he shoots himself in the foot. But, you know, I really agree with you that it really needs to end with all four. But, you know, I don't want to see Ace back in the band no matter what. What I would love is for the band to go back in the studio and have Ace come in and do a song. You know, Ace to bring them a song and, you know, and have Eric and Tommy play on it. Ace sings it and plays the frickin' lead, the solo, you know, so then everyone's on it, everyone's happy, and it's like Happy Acres. I mean, come on, you know.
But thinking about that would be cool, but then then the next thing would be like, oh, he's going to come out, he's going to show up here and there, or you're going to have people.
Well, why not? Why the hell not? Why can't it be like Izzy Stradlin with guns?
Why can't it be like? That's what I was going to say. Why can't it be like Steven Adler bringing, hey, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Steven Adler, and here he comes out and plays a couple songs and then goes back. Bring Ace out and do a couple songs.
Why the hell can't Ace come out and sing Cold Gin instead of Gene at a Kiss show without the makeup? Tommy can play it on stage, and Ace sings it. I mean, why can that not work? Why does it have to be about the fucking makeup? You know, because it doesn't make any sense to me. Tommy's
with
the
Kiss
guy.
Fans, it's one or the other.
How about you can have it both ways? You can have your cake, and you can have Kiss on stage in makeup, and Ace guesting on guitar and playing and singing, and we can all sing Kumbaya and be happy.
No, this is Kiss. We cannot have it both ways.
I don't even think Gene and Paul would let that happen. I think they would say, no, you have to put the grease paint on in costume, because we go out on the stage, like Gene's always said, we go out on the stage and this is holy grail. You either bring it.
Bullshit. You've had Phil Collen on stage with them. You've had Joe fucking Perry on stage wearing the boots. You completely devalued that argument. You know, and the band.
Adam Lambert.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And you've been on stage with Adam Lambert. So yes,
now that's so Lonnie.
yes, you can have someone on stage with you not wearing makeup. If it makes them feel better, then give him a pair of spaceman boots to wear. You know, the Love Gun era ones.
Yeah.
Preferably, he won't fall over.
But if Ace could really not just, I think the whole thing coming in the studio is a really awesome idea. You know, it's a possibility because, you know, haven't they been there's been kind of like little teeny rumors that they might want to do another album. They might.
You know, I don't think Paul's ready to totally commit to it, and maybe he's writing. Maybe he's saying, ha, 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 Mr. Gill, you're so wrong. I've written a song today with Desmond Child, so up yours.
And Diane Warren.
Great Crazy Nights 2 / Paul Stanley solo album.
Hey, you know, if it's new music, I couldn't give two shits, you know, because at least it'd be new music. But, you know, we've talked about Ace. Why can't you bring Peter out on stage for that matter and have him sing Beth? Give Eric a tambourine. They can all be on stage surround him, playing the music, nothing to lose. There are just so many scenarios that with a little bit of creativeness and willingness that they could involve these members without it having to be a return to the 73 lineup, for a tour. And I like what Lonnie said with Steven Adler. You just never knew when he was going to show up, and it was the same on that tour with Izzy. That he would show up, but he was willing to help out. When they had guitar, I can't remember. I mean, he helped out for Dizzy, didn't he? Way back, or whoever it was, I think broke his hand, and Izzy stepped back in.
When Gilby broke his hand back in '93, he came back in and did a few shows. And even when Axl was touring with Guns, before the reunion, Izzy would still come in and do some shows here and there with them. So, why couldn't? It's an interest. I never thought about that, Julian. Though, actually, that what if you did just, in random cities, Ace Frehley comes out and sings "Shock Me." I mean, that'd be pretty freaking wild. I don't see it happening. Because it's Kiss, and I think, it's one way or the other with Kiss, and it's always been.
You only have to do it a couple of times, and
I understand that.
I think you could pretty much guarantee that the ticket sales increase just from not knowing.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit like a lottery, and you fly Peter out first class, you chauffeur him, you make sure you're treating him like $1 million, because he is $1 million when your ticket sales are increasing, because people don't know if he's going to be brought on stage that night. You don't know if you're getting Peter. You don't know if you're getting Ace. You don't know if you're getting some Scott Ian or someone who's, Alec Lifeson, coming out with a bag on his head. You don't know what you don't know what you're going to get, and it could just be a way to, number one, there's another song that you can take away from Paul to give him a rest, and they can talk, why are they having such and such a person, here's Ace, say some good stuff, and Gene gets to say some good stuff, and the crowd gets to go wild and clap, and then they do a song, and if it's some other guest, shit, I mean, there's just, okay, I'm going crazy.
Here's another thing, though, now that you brought that up, Julian, is, okay, say Ace and Peter come back at some point, okay? So now what do? Like you said, you're going to have to cut out songs, put songs in. You're going to hear, Shock Me. You're going to hear Beth, and you're going to hear Black Diamond. So now you're going to have people complain, oh, why don't they change the set list? It's like, it's never going to end like that. You know what I mean?
But at some point, you just have to give your middle finger to that segment of fans who are just never going to be happy.
Yeah.
Because you'd put all 4 original members back in makeup and in their costumes, and it'd be, well, they're fat. There's always something for them to complain about, or to mock the body of a 70-year-old because they don't look like they're 35 anymore. There's always going to be that segment of fan who finds something to pick on about, rather than, what they should be doing is shutting their eyes and going on and putting on a live and just forgetting about it. Just go back to that happy place that they remember, rather than, they're not playing this, not playing that. How about you look at, they're playing this, they're playing that, and they're still able to.
Period.
They're playing. I mean, come on. Yeah. Wear and tear, hip replacements, torn biceps. Gene's
falling down.
Yeah. We haven't reached the point of colostomy bags yet, but God help us.
No, but I think if you did bring Ace back at this point, if you brought him back in the band, you did like a tour. Just say you did a tour next summer with Ace Frehley.
I'd cry.
There'd be no going back, though, at this point.
Correct. And then I would know, then you know it'd be like the end.
To Andy's point, then, it would be the end. Because you couldn't bring Ace back and then say, oh, well, 2018, well, it didn't work out, so we're going to go back to Tommy in 2018. There would be no going back at this point in 2016, almost 2017. If you were to bring Ace Frehley back, and he did a tour with the lineup that 95% of KISS fans didn't get to see, with Eric Singer and Ace Frehley. If you did that and it didn't work, or midway through the tour even and it didn't work, you would be up shit creek. There'd be no going back at this point in time.
or if it killed Ace in the process.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's not worth it to me.
No.
That as much as I would love to see Ace back on stage with the band, I don't want to see him back in makeup if it kills him. I would rather see him in that guest slot, and them just to deal with it like they should have with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, just to fucking do it right and not kill the man.
You know what bugs me too? I hear people complain, "Oh, Ace is too fat. He won't fit in spandex." Hello, people. Look at Gene there for a couple of years, though. Gene was hitting the chocolate chip cookies a little too extra there for a little while. I mean, he's lost weight now, but and Paul's voice is not going to get any better, people. So if you're going to turn around and complain that some guy's he's got weight on him, you got another guy over here, his voice is not as great as it used to be, and you got another guy over here, he's gained weight too. And Eric Singer's gained weight. Look at Eric Singer lately. Yeah. He's not as thin as he used to be. He's
not as thin as he was like 08. And when they did that, 08, he was like really slim and really lean and mean. He's, and there's nothing against him, nothing wrong with that. Eric's gotten older too.
Yeah.
Eric's not as young as he used to be either. I mean, that's part of age.
Yeah. So, and can you do this stuff? We get up and go to work and whatever we do, right? We complain. You think these guys do? I mean, yes, they're multimillionaires, but like I said, I went to 3 Ace shows in 4 days. Went to a show, got up, went to work, got up, went to another show, drove home, got up, went to another show. Freaking zombie in I went to 3 shows in 4 days. I was a zombie. Same thing with the Kiss thing. When I've done the Kiss thing, I did it this year. I did like three shows in 4 or 5 days. I'm a zombie after 5 days, and I'm like, look at me. I'm a guy who doesn't need any sleep. I don't need drugs to keep me going. I can keep going and going and going. But I'll tell you, I look like shit when I was done. Like after the Kiss cruise, you look at anybody who does the Kiss cruise.
Oh, yeah.
Lonnie's been there. Michael's been there. You should see some of us after.
There's zombies walking off the boat.
We could do an episode of The Walking Dead.
Nice. When we got done on the cruise, we checked in the hotel and we slept all freaking day.
But you got to get up early to get off.
I know. Or you just don't go to sleep. But we slept all day.
My girlfriend slept for 3 days. She had never been on.
Oh, yeah.
I told her to sleep. That's the first warning I say to everybody. But that's a different episode about the cruise. But tell everybody to get sleep now because you don't sleep before. Now they made it 5 days. You imagine what's going to happen to people in 5 days? People are going to be walking in other people's cabins, sleeping. Wake up the next morning. What the hell am I? Who is this person? Yeah. Anyways, but like I said, I at some point I would love to see Ace either back in Ace and Peter. I'm not going to leave Peter out of this because he's in. When they
It's a good point. Everybody wants Ace back. Nobody ever says anything about Peter.
Yeah, and that pisses me off too because I see it all over like, oh, Ace is never come back. And Julian, I don't know if you guys saw the Mike or Lonnie. I don't know if you saw the video. Gene was at some kind of expo, and somebody asked him, are you going to have another reunion? Ace come back, and basically Gene says no, and Gene went off about. They had there 3 times or 2 times, whatever. You should get rid of every alcoholic and drug addict in your life and all this. So Gene's going off, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, Gene. I know Gene says things here and there off the hook. Sometimes he doesn't think. He doesn't have a filter at times. But come on, Gene. You have a damn manager that was like one of the biggest fucking drug addicts and dealers and dope addicts. His name was Doc McGee.
Yeah.
Hello.
Who's made you a lot of money.
Yeah. And what, Paul Stanley never got hammered? Look at the Haunted in Hell sessions. Who was the worst one in the Haunted in Hell session? It wasn't Ace Frehley. It's Paul Stanley. Look at those pictures. So, I mean, if Paul's not an alcoholic or something, but I mean, just saying, sometimes, it'll come down to money.
Yeah. Just like it did in 96.
Yeah.
But
don't cry again.
they will make that calculation about Peter, unfortunately, that enough people won't care where the variables
like Black Sabbath.
Yeah, exactly.
Black
Bill Ward.
What about you, Michael? You want to see Peter back in?
Well, I have to say, so I had recently had surgery on my hand for carpal tunnel, right, to get rid of the pain. And when I went to go see Peter, when he was at what the hell was it called? The event
Horror?
the thing in Oaks, PA that Ace did a year or so ago.
Chiller?
No, it's something else. I forget what the hell it's called. But anyway, when I met Peter, I asked him about his hands because I was curious, being someone who had pain. I was like, what happened? How did you deal with it? And basically, he said that he still has issues with his hands, with muscles and things. So I don't know if he had carpal tunnel or what the issue was, but whatever it is, he's not completely healed because, you got to have surgery really to take care of that. So what I'm wondering is, would he even be able to play for an extended period of time? Because I was just listening to Three Sides of the Coin earlier, and they were interviewing Mark, whatever his last name is, because he has a book coming out. He's going to be at the NJ Expo. He played with Peter this past spring, and he was saying, that when Peter plays, he could play for 15, 30 minutes, and, he has to take a break. So, I just don't know. I mean, we know Ace can play because he's touring, but can Peter really play for extended periods of time, or would his hands prevent him from being able to do that? I'm not sure.
I said he should keep it in one spot, one arena.
Or you do the Mark St. John thing, and you have Peter play the first part of the show or the second part of the show, and you tag team. You let Eric play the show, and then you have Peter come on and do the encores.
Well, yeah, you have Peter do Sing Beth and do Black Diamond.
But it should be a part. But yeah, when there is an end, everybody wants Ace Frehley to be a part of it. When there is an end, Peter, by all means, needs to be a part of it in whatever capacity he's capable of doing. Whether that's only playing Rock and Roll Night at the end of the show and maybe singing Beth, fine. But it would be a travesty for them to end it and not have Peter Criss be a part of it. It would just be, but it's a shame because everybody wants to talk about Ace Frehley coming back, and Peter doesn't get any attention. And Peter is a major, major part of how great what makes those first 6 records as classic as they are.
Yeah, Peter was there before Ace anyway.
The magic. People say, "Oh, there's no magic." When those 4 got together, it's damn magic. I don't care what anybody says. It was magical. And then it's not bad. Bullshit. It's magical, man. When those 4 got together, there was something that happened to them. Everybody thinks, "Oh, it's our imaginations," or we just have this, tunnel vision. I'm sorry, man. Listen to Ace play Cold Gin and Parasite this year compared to what Kiss plays. Kiss now plays Parasite or Cold Gin. Listen to the difference in the sound. There was magic, and it's still magic. When those 4 get together, it's a magic thing. I'm sorry. Call me old school or whatever you want to call it. I mean, I love a bunch of 80s stuff. I like, some of the 90s, I want to call 80s / but those first 3 albums are epic.
Come on. I'm a guy who got into the band in 85. I know that those first 3 bands, those first 3 albums, are where it's at. I know where anyone who plays, any of those originals albums that they really care about feel that magic. That magic is captured on celluloid forever.
Yeah.
And none of the albums that come afterwards have any of that because you only get that off the original air when you're first coming out of nowhere. And
they're hungry.
You're not around for decades and suddenly have an epiphany and find some magical ingredient, some sprinkle pixie dust on your instruments. It's there at the beginning and you capture it, and it comes through and it occasionally shows its head again as you go through your career. But it's there and it's obvious. So
one more thing I want to just jump in about the magic thing. Before I was on the last episode, when I was on the last podcast with you guys, the next day I interviewed Dennis DeYoung. I'd mentioned that, former Styx singer, and he said to me, that, I was like, why the heck can't you guys just get back together? And he was explaining to me that to him, when he's on the stage with Tommy Shaw and JY, he's like, there's magic, and he's like, it's undeniable. And it's interesting because, like we're saying, Gene and Paul obviously dispute the whole magic thing. But I agree with Dennis. Same way I would agree with if Steve Perry did something with Journey. I mean, there's just something about, those albums, whatever band it is, and if you can, recreate a moment for someone, a memory, on stage live, it just makes it a magical, special moment that people would love to experience. So will we get to experience that again with Kiss? Who knows?
Yeah.
But Lonnie had the point is that they were hungry. They were more than hungry. They would done anything to make it.
They were the band willing to do anything to make it, and it shows on those first 3 albums in particular.
Yeah. It even the sound is different on all 3, which I love. That it's all different. You had that first Rawhide, and then you had Hot in Hell. That to me, it sounds kind of grunge before grunge is even coarse, and then Dress to Kill sounds to me out of the 3 sound polished, but it was amazing polished. And then of course the Alive comes out, and then Destroyer, let's put it this way: when Destroyer came out, a lot of people didn't even like Destroyer. They're like, "What the hell is this shit?"
Mark.
Still doesn't like Destroyer.
Yes.
It's a great album, but it's probably it is. I think a lot it's been so overplayed. There's so many. So
it's a great album. It's just not a great Kiss album. Oh wait, no, that's the older shit.
That's something else.
Wrong Ezra in production. Sorry.
But maybe just because I'm old school, there's magic. I'm sorry, it's just the magic. I don't know what it is, and I have nothing against Tommy and Eric. I think I met Tommy a couple times here and there, and he's always seemed very nice. I know they get paid to do stuff, but he seems generally a nice guy. And I met Eric through expos and stuff like that, and he's always been pretty good. I mean, when he first got fired, he wasn't too happy. There was some stuff said.
Those were the entertaining expos to go to.
Yeah, in the beginning, the first couple, the expo that
he's school bitter.
Yeah, just a little bitter. He said something.
But obviously, he got over it. So maybe Kiss fans could take a lesson. Get over it.
Oh, look what Eric says. He goes, "It's just a damn job. I wish people get over it. It's just a damn job." Well, maybe in a way that maybe Eric doesn't get it either, because when he said that's just a damn job, I'm like, ugh. It's not just a damn job, you.
But then again, he was there in 1974.
True.
Yeah.
He's seen the industry from the side as a fan. Going to see Deep Purple, going to see Kiss. Same with Tommy, seeing Kiss. All these guys. They saw the great bands, the Nugents of the 70s, Aerosmith and whatnot, and then got into the industry and worked it. And then he sees the other side of the industry, the working with Lita Ford, working with Tony Iommi, working with Alice Cooper, working with Gary Moore. So I would say, when you ask Eric his opinion on anything to do with the music industry, that you're getting a pretty well-rounded evaluation of it from both the point of someone who's a fan of music and was a fan of classic rock, to someone who's played with a lot of those bands that I guess a lot of us still idolize. That still, that we do podcasts about. That I still listen to plenty of 70s rock. All that stuff Eric Singer was listening to growing up, I'm still listening to now. And I didn't, I wasn't listening to that in the 70s. That's for sure. So
yeah, I guess the whole business thing. Yeah, if you're coming from a business side, you get to see all the dirty, ugly, nasty stuff.
But you only ever, that is the music, business. The two are completely inseparable, from the music to the business side, that you see the CD side and you hear about it from bands that don't make it to the bands that do make it. And, that's the part I find really fascinating, especially when you get books like C.K. Lentz to read about it. So,
And the industry's getting uglier because there's basically
no industry.
Gene's right. Gene's right. Gene was point blank right. The rock scene is basically kind of dead. It is really.
It's totally dead, and I would have to say that everything I do, kind of with the books and stuff, it's all homegrown. It's all self-done. Bands need to just be doing their own stuff. They don't need record labels anymore, and they should be avoiding them like the plague. They're like drug addicts now. If you're signing with a record label, you're basically feeding their dirty habits. So
I just heard on the radio station, because I listened to whatever at work through a thing, And what's his name there? Gonna shoot me now. Gene did stuff for them. He's got his own radio program. Paul's part of the. Oh my God, I'm going brain dead. Must be the cold. Paul's part owner of the place. Just played at it, Oklahoma.
The Pawn, Badlands Pawn.
Badlands.
Yeah. What's his name there? He does the radio show for them out there. Oh, I'm terrible. I'm being bad. I'm going to get crucified now for not knowing this stuff.
Howard Stern?
He produced the guy's albums or whatever. But he was talking one of the newer like rock bands that are like this really, really popular, and I think it's Disturbed. You know, that's kind of popular in like the heavy metal thing. They their album just went like gold, and their song has been one song they did a video for. They did a copy of the song or whatever, and it got over like 100 million hits. But the album just went gold like last week. That's how bad the industry is. Even a band like that playing all these little clubs and stuff. So, you gotta give props to Kiss, man, for being 40 now, 40 almost 42, 43 years, and can still sell 75% of the arena. And it could give away tickets. He's like, hey, here you go. Give all the rest of the way in just to fill in the house if they want. Because that's what I loved about this year's tour. This Freedom of Rock, people are like, oh my God, they play B because they can't sell on an A market. That. You know what I mean? The thing is, though, if you were able to go, Paul asked the question, how many people have never seen Kiss before and you're here for your very first time? And I couldn't believe amazing how many people are raising their hands. I'm telling you, about 70 to 75% of the time that I saw the 3 shows I went to, people are like raising their hands. And I'm like, bingo, they did it. They did what they wanted to do. People bought tickets or either got tickets, now they got sucked in. Yep. And the next time,
and you go out and play major markets next summer, people are going to travel to go see them from those markets.
Yep, and if they go a co-headliner, who's next? Who's going to be the co-headliner next year? That's probably going to be the bigger deal if they do, because they don't have the time to stop for 2 or 3 years. They need to keep going, and I think they're going to do another co-headlining tour, even though I hate them, but we're getting for us guys who go travel and do all that stuff, we're probably going to. We're going to get, I want to say, half a Kiss show, but in the ways we do, and they're probably going to get another half major band. And I don't know, I don't have any insights, but who else could tag team with Kiss that would be good? Alice Cooper.
Alice would be the best, but
that'll be the one to do before they finish. But let's leave that for another episode. And
getting on a tangent.
We're way out of the ballpark on this one. So let's pull this one to an end, as we're right in our sweet spot for the amount of time that I want to have these episodes.
Say this, man. What do we have to say? Ace is back, man.
It's nice.
And not only did he tell you so, or the fans told you so. Spot on, mint. And if you get a chance to see him, if he's playing around your area, the tickets are not that expensive. Go see him, because you never know. He might turn around and say, no, I'm done. I'm going to retire. I'm had it. Who knows?
Oh, yeah. That's why he came here last year. We're like, I got to go, because you know what? He hadn't been here since 2008. It's like, he might never come back here.
Yep.
I know.
You may end up feeling like San Francisco. So, Michael, I'm going to give you the last word. If Ace comes near anyone else's town, do they go?
Absolutely. The only thing I would say is I don't know that his meet and greets are worth the money, just because you're paying $350 and it's nowhere near as good as what you get with Kiss or other artists. So if you want to meet Ace, meet him at like an expo or a convention, much cheaper. But if you are debating whether or not to buy a concert ticket, absolutely buy it. Try to get as close to the stage as possible and have a blast.
And
I agree.
That is the word. So, for everyone who's, given us your ears today, chime in on your opinions with whatever you thought this topic was when it started and how it ended. We'd love for you to share your opinions. We don't stick to, we don't have a map here. We don't know where we're going. Left turn, right turn, Albuquerque's over there.
Hey, we're like Ace Frehley. We don't know where we're going, where we've been.
Yep. So for everyone out there, hop onto one of the threads on YouTube, on Facebook, on the FAQ message board, on Spreaker. Share your thoughts and opinions on what we've talked about today. And we appreciate you listening. And from Andy, from Lonnie, and Michael, and myself, thank you all, and we will see you next time.
Wicked awesome, guys.
Thank you for spending time listening to the KissFAQ podcast today. All sales are final. There are no refunds. If you'd like, look us up on Facebook or come over to the KissFAQ message board and discuss the topic we broadcast today. Don't forget to rate us on iTunes, Spreaker, or wherever you've listened to the show. We hope you'll join us again.